Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the House Human Services Committee to order. As a reminder, would you please note that we are recording this session. I'm going to ask you all if you would take a moment to just silence your cell phones. Thank you all for being here this morning. Amanda, would you please take the roll?
Sure. Chair Williams,
Here.
Rep. Bellman, Rep. Bennett, Rawl, Rep. Green,
VBD,
Rep. Harris,
VBD,
Rep. Khan, Rep. Kincaid,
VBD,
Rep. Mays,
VBD,
Rep. Otten,
VBD,
Rep. Prokopiak,
VBD,
Rep. Rivera,
Present.
Rep. Venkat,
VBD,
Chair Heffley,
Present.
Rep. Anderson,
Present.
Rep. Baseline,
DVD.
Rep. Flick,
Here.
Rep. Flood,
Here.
Rep. Hogan,
Here.
Rep. Labs,
DVD.
Rep. McKenzie, Rep. Pugh, Rep. Reichard,
DVD.
Rep. Schlegel,
Here.
and Rep. Weakneck.
DVD.
We are also joined by Rep. Kuhn and Rep. Kincaid and Representative Otten. The first item on today's agenda is House Bill 1117. I'd like to motion to consider the bill. Do I have a second? The bill is seconded. Ashley, would you please explain the bill?
House Bill 1117 amends the Administrative Code of 1929 to update terminology under the Department of Drug and Alcohol Programs' powers and duties and to amend the frequency of required updates to the department's state plan.
Ashley, thank you. Representative Rivera, as the bill sponsor, do you have any comments you'd like to share regarding the bill?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Regarding this bill, there has been an amendment submitted by Chairman Heffley, which is acceptable. He and I spoke about it yesterday, and it takes the 4-year revision down to 3 years, which still permits the revisions to happen to this bill within each session cycle. So from 4 years to 3 years is perfectly acceptable, and I appreciate the input.
Representative Rivera, thank you. We've also been joined by Representative Harris. There are 2 amendments to the bill. I will be offering Amendment A00307. Ashley, would you please explain the amendment?
The amendment inserts the phrase support services included under before the term vocational rehabilitation.
Thank you. I move to adopt the amendment. Do I have a second? Seconded by Representative Garral. Thank you. Is there any discussion on the amendment? Are there any negative votes on the amendment? Hearing none, the amendment passes. The second amendment is A00305, offered by Representative Heffley. Ashley, would you please explain the amendment?
The amendment requires the department to update its state plan at least once every 3 years.
Thank you. I'd make a motion to adopt the amendment. Is there a second?
Second.
The amendment has been seconded by Representative Rivera. Thank you. I'd like to make note that this amendment has been agreed upon. Is there any discussion on the amendment? Chairman Heffley.
Thank you, Chairman Williams. Yeah, and I appreciate the prime sponsors' support of this amendment. We had a great conversation with DDAP over the kind of the concerns and wanting to make sure that the state plan was done every 3 years. So it was great working with them, and would ask for everybody to support the amendment and the underlying bill.
Excellent. Thank you, Chairman. Are there any negative votes on the amendment? Hearing none, seeing none, the amendment passes. Now on the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Chairman Heffley.
I think it's a great bill. Would ask for an affirmative vote. I think obviously it clarifies some language that needs to be updated. And also, I think with the amendments, it makes it a good bill, and would ask for everybody's support.
Are there any negative votes on the bill? As amended? Seeing and hearing no negative votes on House Bill 1117 as amended, it will be reported from the Human Services Committee. Moving on to the final item of today's agenda, I move to consider House Bill 561, sponsored by Representative Madden. Do I have a second on the bill?
Second.
Seconded by Representative Gural. Thank you. Ashley, would you please explain the bill?
House Bill 561 amends Title 61, Prisons and Parole of the Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes in non-narcotic, medication-assisted substance use abuse treatment grant pilot program, repealing provisions relating to establishment of the pilot program and providing for establishment of the medication-assisted substance abuse treatment grant program.
Ashley, thank you. I will be offering Amendment A00316. Ashley, can you please provide a description of the amendment?
The amendment revises the prior authorization requirements by mandating that Medicaid managed care plans automatically approve medication-assisted treatment forms on the statewide preferred drug list that do not require prior authorization. It also removes the bulletin notice requirement and updates language on substance use treatment by adding the term disorder.
Ashley, thank you. I'll move to adopt the amendment. Do I have a second? It has been seconded by Representative Harris. Thank you so much. Is there any discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, the amendment passes. Are there any negative votes? Pardon me. Any negative votes on the amendment? Hearing none, seeing none, the amendment passes. Okay. On the bill as amended, is there any discussion of the bill? Chairman Heffley.
Thank you, Chairman Williams. Last session, this bill, and I appreciate your amendment. I think it clarifies some of the, it improves the bill. Last session, I voted no. I was one of the few no votes on this bill last session. I still do have some concerns. Really, it's about maintaining the funding for programs like Vivitrol. I know in the hearings it was stated that not all the money was used. I do think there were some issues with PCCD. For 3 years, they didn't even run the program, or they didn't get those dollars out through COVID. And while I think that MAT is very important, also I think non-opioid treatments are also important, especially when we're seeing an increase in folks coming into our SCAs for alcohol treatment. So I think I will be working on a floor amendment and hopefully to clarify some of the issues and making sure that there is going to remain some money that's going to be available for treatments like Vivitrol, which is a non-opioid medication treatment for substance use disorder. So I will be working on an amendment for the floor, but for today I will be voting in support of the bill to move the process along.
Chair, thanks, Chairman Heffley. We've been joined by Representative Benham and Representative Propriak. With no further discussion, I'm going to call the roll. Are there any negative votes on the bill? Seeing and hearing no negative votes, House Bill 561, as amended, is reported from the Human Services Committee. I'd like to thank you all for your participation this morning. This concludes the business for this committee. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.